Hello, everyone. My name is Finn B. Irwin. I'm joined alongside Don Sullivan, and welcome everyone to the beautiful city of Monaco, where the partying is action-packed, but the action on track maybe isn't as much. But we are here today at the beautiful city. Don, what are you expecting here tonight?
Um, Choo choo. I'm expecting a little bit of a freight train. Yes, I feel like passes can be made. Obviously, the Formula A cars, and this is one of the things that I will say these cars probably have going for them over, for example, the Formula X cars. They're a little bit smaller. So, obviously, with that being said, the hope is that cars will be able to make a little bit more passes. However, I'm not expecting much. So it'll just kind of be a time will tell type situation. But it's Monaco. You really come here for the party, and I tell you what, I love coming here every single season. And I do have some sad news though. The sprint and then the first lap and a half of footage has been lost. Thankfully, Lord underscore Moxley, the 7-time ECRL World Cup champion, was nice enough to let us ride along board with him for that first lap and beforehand. And yeah, so we got that. As we take a look at our standings, Arnie the Goat does lead over by 14 points over Brian Bromley. Iron Elephant is going to be in third by 2 points to Brian. And Brian is actually not here tonight, so they're going to be looking to get that spot into second. We take a look at our constructor standings as well. AIX leads, followed by DAM, so a solid showing in the points for the Mercedes teams.
And one of the big notable things going into this race is Formula X champion, two-time reigning and defending champion, Braden will be making his first Formula A start here today.
And from pole, he was able to qualify on pole in our qualifying session. His sprint probably didn't go the way we want. Of course, we don't have the footage for that, but you'll have to take our word for it. So let's head down to the grid. Lord
On
Moxley
board.
going to be on the grid, and it's lights out, and away we go. We can't see what's going on at the front, but you'll have to take our word for it. I do believe it looks like the high-tech gets away well into one, crashing already up ahead.
Oh,
Cars pile
Mox
up into
has
one, and
damage.
yep, he does, as all cars blocking the track there. And I tell you what, that is a very interesting start here. It was lap one, turn one, guys. You can't win it that early on, but damage already to a lot of these good cars, as it looks like Braden has jumped out to the lead over Arnie the Goat in second. And look at our track map there. The high-tech and the Trident have already kind of broken away from the two MPs in second and third as they go through the hairpin. Maybe some contact going on behind there. And X Standing is going to settle into 15th position now behind Lord Moxley. And a new guy in the Prema, Yesus, going to be in 16th. So yeah, of course we're going to get the footage here for you to complete this first lap. He's going to head us down into the Novell chicane. And he's going to be just a little bit offline there, but he's going to be right behind Cena in the Prema, followed by Formula Wix, another new driver making his debut for AIX, as now they come through the swimming pool chicane, one of the most, if you can hit it right, one of the most satisfying corners on the track. And now through Raskaz as we see, oh no, official masters going wide at Raskaz, and Lord Moxley brings us into the pit lane, and we are now going to jump on board to our camera footage. Braden leads over Arnie the Goat by about 1.1 seconds. We have yellow flags in Sector 1, and I'm not 100% sure who that would be. And do I dare say, though, it does maybe look like Mr. Cheeks. I can't quite tell. But Braden leads, and then you have Arnie in second as they go through Raskaz and now towards Anthony Noches. The MP of Marijuanizer, the winner of the sprint race in Baku, going to be into third, and Cashboy settles into fourth. He was able to win the sprint race here in Monaco. Once again, no footage for that race. So we do want to wish Cashboy a very big congratulations and do give him his dues, of course, knowing that he did a very good job in the sprint. And a lot of people are saying, oh, it's Monaco, you can't pass. However, this is also one of the most challenging circuits on the season. Obviously, look at how close these walls are. So, if you're able to win a race in Monaco, you definitely deserve it, but the real magic is made in qualifying. As we see Arnie coming out of Portier now underneath the tunnel, and now they're going to make that run all the way down towards the Novell chicane. Braden's lead is growing just a little bit. Of course, 1.4 seconds as they're going to abuse that corner quite a bit, which they can do that here in these Formula A cars. And I believe we are going to be using the more relaxed track limits for the Formula X race on Monday, and our hope is that that'll of course help with more passing opportunities, because of course it won't be as strict and gives a little bit more track to play with. That's the hope. So Braden's going to lead us down to lap number 4. Arnie's going to settle into second, of course, trying to do anything he can. And ooh, the back end of the high tech seemingly sliding there through turn number 1 as they head up down towards Beau Rivage and making that run down towards Massenet. We focus now coming towards the back just a little bit. Mr. Cheeks are going to be holding on to that last point paying position as Guetta in the Rodin. He is going to be in P9, trailing Holy Schmoly in the Campos Red Bull Moose. Coming up Beau Rivage. Can he do anything with it? And a little bit of damage possibly there on the Rodin, or maybe I'm just seeing things as now they come out of Casino Square and make that run down towards Mirabeau. Does Esqueta maybe go for a lunge up the inside? Yes, he does! Esqueta makes the move down into Mirabeau. What a move done for the Rodin driver through the hairpin now. And wow, getting clear of Holy Schmoly. And as we focus back now towards Braden on the lead, huge props to Esgueta for making that one happen there. Braden leads through to back now, headed down towards the swimming pool chicane. And he's going to do a very nice corner there, actually, as they come down towards Rascaz, putting in solid sectors there in the high tech. He's trying to go 1-for-1 today here in the Formula A series. Arnie the Goat is in second, the winner, of course, in Baku 2 weeks ago now. Obviously, we were off from this series last week, and X Danning given a 10-second time penalty for a severe collision with Yeesus. So not what you want to see there for him. As they come through turns number 1, down Beau Rivage. The local shortcut is being trailed by Puck and the Trident, making his first start in the Formula A series. Puck, the Formula X winner at Monaco a season ago. And I tell you, he's going to be looking for a good result here today. But he's now stuck right now behind the dams.
You know, the thing about these drivers that are running both the Formula A and the Formula X races, they're going to be getting a lot more track time here this weekend, and that's going to play very valuable for Monday night's race. And, you know, one notable driver that is missing here today that runs in the Formula X series is points leader Monster, who was initially going to race here today but had other obligations, so he did not run. But we have two-time Formula X champion Braden. He's coming off of a win last week, and a lot of people are thinking he could be the favorite coming into the Formula X race at Monaco.
Yeah, and another big name that's missing is Coquito. I mean, Coquito is racing for a championship in this series in the AIX, and he's not here as well. So he also had other obligations, and we wish them both the best not being here. But could this possibly play into the Red Bull Moose driver's hands on Monday night? The thing about it is time's going to have to tell. It's from the looks of things, these cars are driving very differently. So it's just going to kind of be how do you manage what you're doing here, but then also translate what you do learn into, your qualifying and then race pace on Monday night. I do feel like Braden and Arnie will both be very, very fast in their Red Bull Moose and McLarens respectively. So time's gonna have to tell though. It's all a guessing game at the moment. That's all it is, and that's kind of what makes Formula X so nice. Is it's still very unpredictable no matter the outcome here of what happens tonight. It's Nothing is set in stone. So as they round Rascaz, Braden is catching the Invicta of official master up ahead. And of course, I think he's going to be wanting her to get out of the way very, very quickly. He's got 1.8 seconds now to Arnie. That gap has been growing over the past couple laps, and that 1.8-second gap is almost perfect. So keep doing what you're doing. Now, you don't want to waste any time, though, with the Invicta, who is seemingly a very, very big amount slower than the high tech. And oh no! The Invicta's not going to get out of the way, and you can't pass. He can't get by now as they come through. Here
And
comes
Arnie's
Arnie.
going to close the gap.
Arnie's going to close that gap, and that 1.8 seconds, he still can't get by. And now she's going to let him go, but why wait so long? You had prime opportunity to let him go, making on the little run down towards Mirabeau, and instead you stay in front, hold him all the way through the hairpin. Oh, well, now Arnie's right back in the mix here. So the big thing about it for now Arnie, he can technically play a strategy call and say, well, I can try to make that undercut. The only thing about it is if you make the undercut a little bit too early or a little bit too late, you're going to be stuck behind another car on track that might be slower than you. So, for example, we just saw Braden, who's exponentially faster than the Invicta, really caught the Invicta, couldn't get by through that hairpin area. Well, let's say, for example, Arnie Pitts comes out in traffic and he's substantially faster. Well, that, he won't be able to get back by. So now you have to fight and figure out where you're going to rejoin the racetrack. That's all the big thing about it is where do you come out on the racetrack? Our projected strategies have these guys pitting anywhere from lap 14 or, to 20 would be your kind of ideal strategy. However, as I've said, nothing is set in stone as they come under the tunnel once again here in Monte Carlo.
Some of the things that is going to be notable going into Monday night's race is Lord Moxley will be taking over the Ferrari for Brian Bromley this Monday night. Brian Bromley will have family obligations to attend to. We wish him the best. But Brian Bromley almost took that car to victory lane last week in Zandvoort, so there is confidence on that team that either Esgeta or Mox can bring that car and team to victory lane.
Yeah, I mean, that would be their goal, and I feel like the big thing about it is, and we talked about it a little bit last week at for the Formula X Zandvoort Grand Prix. If you guys did tune into that one, we did talk a little bit about Esgeta, and his strategy is seemingly to be starting at the back. You cannot do that here. If you start at the back, you're basically giving yourself no shot at the win before the race even starts. I mean, it's possible, but you would need pretty much everything to go right. So the big thing is how do you qualify if you are these Ferraris who typically don't really try when it comes to that qualifying metric? At least the one side of that garage doesn't. So he's trying to get as many laps under his belt as he can here today. He is currently running 7th in the Rodin. And yeah, it's all just a matter of how do you want to play it when it comes back around. As they are catching another lapped car on the track, Arnie continues to trail the high tech as they round through Larascaz and back towards Anthony Noches. How do you do it as we see this fight going on here for 6th? Can Esgeta get by local shortcut into Tabac? He's too far back. I will say, obviously we are a little bit more lax with our rules as well, so you can bump somebody out of the way if need be, and if you can time it just right without hurting yourself, go for it. And Esgeta's gonna get super close contact made on the exit of Rascaz, and now towards Anthony Noches. Mr. Cheeks given a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings as they come down this main straight. DRS open on the road, and can he get there? No, he's too far back by the time they come into Saint-Devat. Once again up Beau Rivage. Can he make anything out of it now? He's going to have to get there as they come down towards Massenet. He's a bit too far back. Let's focus back on the battle for the lead. Braden running down the Prema right now. The car in front. Arnie not going away this time as much as he was last time. So don't make a mistake. Keep Don't put one foot wrong. You got to stay in your rhythm as it looks like that Prema is just going to get out of the way. Good call there as they come through to back now. Running down, that is one of my favorite shots of all time through the swimming pool chicane. And back towards Larascaz once again. Arnie is getting right there. You can see these guys starting to slip and slide on the exit of the corners. They are definitely sliding. That means the tires are wearing out. So we are getting complaints that both of them are starting to slide, and you can definitely visually see it as well as they, a little bit of more slide out of the high tech there as they come up through Beau Rivage once again.
And right now, Arnie the Goat, he is sticking with Braden right now. Arnie is one of the people who is considered a very high championship favorite. He has a pretty good points lead right now over Brian Bromley, who isn't here today. So, right now, where he is running, he is going to massively expand that points lead. And in the Formula X series, he is someone who has a lot of speed but has just not had the luck on his side, especially since joining McLaren.
Yeah, and it's tough, right? You're trying your best, and it's like, of course, last week he was super fast. We saw the speed out of the McLaren. Probably had a shot at a podium, and if the cards fall right, he could have also had a shot at a win. It's just, it's frustrating because you understand as a driver what it means to put your, dedicate your time to it. And if when something falls through, it falls through. And I tell you, Arnie has had some struggle, some luck so far in the McLaren. But you think about it, Coquito had a couple not great runs when he first joined McLaren a season ago as well. So it got better. It's just got to take that time. And unfortunately, it's been really a lot of things out of Arnie's control, but it doesn't mean he's not going to try. And he's here with Trident leading this Formula A championship and going to try to become our inaugural Formula One world or Formula A world champion. So I tell you, it's big for Arnie. This is definitely a shot in the arm if you are, leading these points because it's going to give you that confidence boost that could very, very easily correlate back over to the Monday nights as we see Braden and the high tech come down towards the Novell chicane. And, my big teller of these tires are wearing, and as weird as this is going to sound, they're starting to miss that chicane, both of them, if you watch them. They're really starting to become a lot wider with their entry to that corner. And that's because that means the front tires aren't gripping up as much as they need to get that full arc into the corner. And so you can really see it as they miss the corner. It's like, they gotta try to counterbalance that. You're scared because you don't want to hit that wall on the left hand side there. Trust me, it can very, very easily happen. We've seen it happen with Monster before in qualifying for the Monaco Grand Prix and Formula X. We've seen it happen. So they know that in the back of their head. They're trying to just manage what they've got at the moment. And so they are catching a technical team car now for Braden, and he's just going to move out of the way. That would have been holy schmoly. Of course, that is the right thing to do. Don't interfere with the battle for the lead. So good, very good job there for Mr. Holy Schmoly as they head down towards the hairpin and to the right-hander. And then to the next right-hander of Portier, Braden leads, followed by Arnie the Goat. And there goes Holy Schmoly as well. Now watching this lead battle, he's got a pretty solid view of it in the Campos Red Bull Moose as they come back down towards. And see, that's what I was talking about. Yes, it looks like they're cutting it, but I promise you they can cut it very, very closer to that inside wall there. But they're just taking it a little bit wider than maybe what needs to be done there. So very, very nice there. And I tell you, these guys are absolutely pushing it to the limit. And so now the question is, though, when do we expect to see these cars come into the pit lane? Oh, I said it. There goes Arnie into the pits. Arnie comes into the pits, and now Braden's really, really got to get on with it. 0.5 of a gap, not much here, but where will Arnie come out in relation? So here
And
he
this
comes
is
into the.
where the real race begins.
Yeah, absolutely. Arnie's going to put on those super soft tires. He's going to have to get on with it on the exit of the pit lane as well. He can, in theory, pull off the undercut, which would be absolutely amazing if he can take the lead from this high tech. Braden leads now over Marijuanaizer, and I expect to see the high-tech dip off into the pits this time. You definitely don't want to now stay out there. His engineers are, oh, he slides! He slides heavily there! And I tell you, is this now him pushing a little bit too hard, knowing that he's got to get on with it? Is that just a slight error? But I want to look at the track map. Look at where Arnie has come out. He has come out right behind the slower Iron Elephant on those slow tires. He can't get by. Now he's got to figure out one way to get by somewhere. Is he going to try to go for it on the exit of Portier? No, he's going to go up the inside, though, at the tunnel. Can he get it done? Here comes Arnie up the inside. Iron Elephant might cut him a bit of slack. It looks like he might have just done it. Here comes Braden through Larascaz now, coming in possibly to the pits. Yes. Yeah, I would have assumed just as much. I figure you wouldn't want to stay out again, as he's going to bring it to his high-tech mechanics and put on his set of super softs. And now, where does Arnie come out in relation to this race? We see him on the track map there, coming through Larascaz. On the brakes, here he comes. He's going to come through just now, exiting the Rascas corner, coming towards Anthony Noches now. Here comes Arnie now, down the main straight. Braden trundles his way down the pits. Here he comes out now. Out of the pits. Will he get there? They're side by side. Here they come. There they are in the background. Side by side. Who's got the lead? It looks like Braden might just have it. Here they come now, up a Ravage, headed towards Massenet. Arnie looks like he's backed out. Braden does retain the lead of the race. And Arnie's got to be kicking himself. He had the strategy call played out right and couldn't quite make it work. And that's what I was saying when we started this race. You've got to make sure that you know where you're going to come out on the track. And looks like they misjudged it just that little bit. And Braden takes the lead once again. And now he's also, to make matters worse, have a lap fresher tire as well. As they head down towards the Nouvelle Chicane, Cashboy takes the lead of the race, but that's not provisionally, as he still has to make that pit stop. But going to give him his credit while he's got the screen time. A very, very, very nice sprint win from him earlier this evening. And I tell you, he has been doing pretty much anything that you would want him to do. He's been offered a full-time now seat following this tonight's race. Oh, and he hits the wall there. But he's been offered a ride at Trident for the remainder of the season following this race from Puck. And I tell you, I think he's going to take him up on that offer. Meanwhile, we focus back on this battle for the lead. 6 laps to go.
And Arnie the GOAT, he's been holding strong this whole race against Braden. If he's going to win this race, he's going to have to time a pass absolutely perfect around this very narrow circuit.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, if you look at it from a statistical standpoint, the statistics say it's possible. I'm not 100% sure what the percent range is, but I think he can definitely get it done. He's just got to time it right, but the thing is can he, save your tires? Don't push too hard now. The high tech's going to be maybe pushing just a little bit, trying to get away from you. You need to manage out that pace. You don't want to push yourself too hard, because then you're going to be burning up your stuff as well as they come through the swimming pool chicane. Arnie's right there. One wrong foot and he's going to be in a barrier or anything like that. And here comes Arnie getting super close, and he's going to have DRS. Every lap that clicks off here, he has that rear wing open. You can see it there on the Trident. He has DRS open as he actually puts down the fastest lap of the race now, goes Arnie. And so he has the DRS. If he can time it perfectly, he can maybe make a move down into turn 1. Really and truthfully, there's 3, and really, you could really make 4 if you're risky with it, right? There's about 3 big passing zones that you can make. You have turn 1 is a potential passing zone. You have Mirabeau, I would say, is also one of your best bets at a passing zone, as we saw Asgetta make that move earlier on in the race on Holy Schmoly, as they're running over carbon fiber, it looks like there. And X Standing has retired from the session. And then, of course, this passing zone here at the Nouvelle Chicane. Then you have, if you wanted to be risky, Rascaz. I have seen dive bombs up the inside there before. Very risky, because if you lock the brake or anything like that, you could possibly be taking 2 cars out. You could, in theory, make a move up the inside of Tabac. Also super risky. Oh, Braden might have got the barrier there just a little bit. Did he get it just a little bit? It didn't seem to affect him too much, but here comes Arnie. He's going to be right there on the exit of Anthony Noches. Here they come down the main straight once again. DRS Open on the Trident. 6/10 back. And I tell you, if they had battery right now or ERS, we would have a race. I think at the moment that no battery is very, very, very much hurting Arnie. If he had just a little bit of battery, he could be able to possibly get by because you're just getting that little bit more top speed. He's getting super close with DRS, but just can't do anything with it. And so he's going to only have about 3.5 now more laps left. And if he wants any shot at it, he's going to have to get there. Holy schmoly, once again up ahead. Will they have any issues with him? I wouldn't think so. He was able to move out of the way pretty nicely for them last time as they come out of the tunnel. And now, and here comes Holy Schmoly. Can he get there? Yeah, he's just going to go wide, give him the space. Once again, Holy Schmoly seemingly making that name for himself. He's not going to be a guy to give you any trouble. He will never interfere with a fight for the lead. He is doing very, very well so far here tonight.
That's one of the things that all the drivers on the grid commend him for. He is one of the most respectful drivers on this grid. He gives you all the room in the world, and that's really all you can ask for when it comes to driver etiquette.
Yeah, and I think that's what made, the Red Bull Moose executives kind of look at him as a possible option to sign for this season, as well as he drives the Kingfish full time in Formula X. And I think that's just part of it is you want a driver who's not going to be in a controversial status. You want that guy who, yeah, you want that guy that can say, or you can say about that he's not going to cause me any issues and he is going to represent our brand rather nicely as they come under the tunnel. Once again, we've got 3 laps to go.
And in some ways for us in the booth, it's going to feel like the longest 3 laps of the season. We mentioned earlier, this track isn't very action packed, but anything can happen here in ECRL. Arnie the Goat could make a big charge and come right up on Braden and take the lead. Anything can happen as we come to 2 laps to go here at Monaco.
Yeah, and I'm noticing though, if you watch it now, Arnie's out of DRS as we see 2 laps to go, lap 20 out of 21. The gap now 1.2 seconds. And is it possible Arnie might have pushed a bit too hard early, burned his stuff up, or is that 1 lap difference of tires starting to come into effect? And it looks like he's just maybe, or I don't want to say throwing in the towel just that little bit because obviously you never want to give up. Anything can happen, but is it seeming like he just knows that he's not going to make that or put that foot wrong and make that mistake? I feel like he's like settling in to just run second for the night and bide your time. If you push too hard, make a mistake, I feel like, if you DNF the car with 2 laps to go, suddenly you're going to look kind of silly. I feel like, for the sake of your championship, you're not going to get by him. You've been behind him for 20 laps. It's like I would rather take 18 points compared to a possible no points and DNF making myself look silly. So I'm not going to say he's giving up or throwing in the towel, but he is maybe just conserving his race that he can guarantee that P2 instead of possibly DNFing the car as they come through the swimming pool chicane for the second to last time tonight and back towards La Rascaz. Arnie is falling off the pace pretty drastically. He's out of DRS as they come through. Anthony Noches coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go here in Monaco. Braden leads his first ever Formula A race in ECRL, the 2-time Formula X world champion, looking to go 1-1 so far in this series. Both these top 2 really have been perfect all night. You can see the gap that they have to third, 17.5 seconds. Goes to show you how fast these 2 have been tonight as they come through Mirabeau and back towards the hairpin for the final time this evening under the lights, under the glistening street lights. It's been an absolutely beautiful night here in Monaco. Warm weather, and as they come out of Portier, rounding underneath the tunnel for the final time, I can tell you what, it might be a party in the high-tech garage tonight. They've had a season not great so far, to say the least, as a team, and they put the two-time world champion in Formula X in their car, and it looks like he's going to bring it home a winner here through to back for the final time.
The
Coming down
fastest hot rod
towards,
in Monaco.
absolutely, through the swimming pool chicane, and Tula Raskaz, the winner in Zandvoort in Formula X a week ago, going to continue that momentum here as he rounds through Anthony Noches, the two-time Formula X champion, a winner in Formula A. He wins in Monaco. Arnie comes home in second. And we're going to have to go back a little bit of a ways to find Marijuana as he is just now coming through Laraskaz, but it looks like he is going to be able to come home with a very respectable podium finish.
Great run for
Once
him.
again, another great run for the MP. He comes home to cross the line, P3, rounding out that podium place. Here comes Helm, his teammate of Cash Boy, in fourth. Iron Elephant, and comes home in P5, it looks like. And where is Local Shortcut? Local Shortcut a little bit further back as well. Iron Elephant's going to round out our top five. And there's our winner for today. What a race for the high tech. And I tell you what, I got a little nerve-wracking there at certain points in this race where it's like you didn't know what was going to happen. Those pit stop sequences, very, very pressure-packed situation for pretty much everybody involved. They couldn't make a mistake. They needed to have everything go right. And Braden's going to end up victorious here tonight, getting that experience for it, the Monday night event here around the historic street circuit. Wow. Arnie's going to be maybe kicking himself just a little bit, but 18 points extension of your lead in the championship, nothing to hang your head about at all. And I tell you, let's head on down to Victory Lane for our podium celebrations.
And Braden doing his signature flip in Victory Lane here at Monaco. The crowd is on their feet for him. Reigning and defending Formula X champion. He won Zandvoort last week in the Formula X series, and now he has came here to the Formula A series to get a win here at Monaco. Braden is 1 for 1.
100% win rate is not bad at all as they spray the champagne and the fireworks go off underneath the city. The confetti drops. There's your final results from tonight's event for the points on the weekend, sorry. It was a very, very solid weekend for the high-tech team. They're going to add some points to their total. There's your sprint race results. Puck obviously comes home in second, Mr. Cheeks in third, and there's your results for the race. We'll let you look through them, and I believe that is about all the time we have tonight. We appreciate everybody for tuning in on the ECRL network. We will see you Monday night for the Monaco Grand Prix in Formula X.
We'd like to thank you all for tuning in. Monaco is going to be, for the Formula X series, I think a lot more exciting than the race we had here tonight. But obviously we will see, and we will catch you all for the Formula X race. We'll see you all next time.